What is up, YouTube? KidMoto22 here, and I want to talk to you guys today about having your bike serviced. So I recently got back from a 2,300 mile trip to the Black Hills of South Dakota and the Badlands. And when I got back from that trip, I had eclipsed the 10,000 mile mark. Actually, I was really close to 11,000 miles on my Road King. And so since I had eclipsed those that mileage mark, I knew I needed my 10,000 mile service. And I wanted to make sure that that service was done adequately, correctly, and that it was done to factory specs. While I've done most of the mods on my bike, in fact I've done all the mods on my bike, the service part is a part that I'm still, I would say, learning to feel out my comfort zone in service. So I did I had the 1,000 mile service done because I wanted to make sure it was done. I took my bike to the dealer for that, and since then I would say that I wouldn't say I've soured on my dealer. I would say I'm disappointed in my dealer, and so I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do the dealer thing anymore, and I wanted to go to a local shop. And so I have done a little bit of business with a local shop in my town. They're actually the ones that pulled the wires for my bars for me. So I did the entire install, except for I had somebody pull the wires for me. And so I wanted to go to a local shop to have my 10,000 mile service done. And so I went to a local shop, and that local shop is called Throttle Addiction, and it is right here. So here's my local shop that I went to. There's my local shop right there. And I wanted to, two things that I wanted to gain out of going to my local shop. Number one, I wanted to support a local business, right? And so those of us that are in the motorcycling community that have local shops in the towns that we live in, if you want these shops to continue to exist, you have to give them some patronage. You have to support them a little bit. And my local shop actually is very, very reasonable in what they charge for service and what they charge for shop time per hour. And I'll be 100% transparent. I haven't gone to them yet to purchase any parts or done any installs, but with the experience that I had with the 10,000 mile service on my bike, I will be buying tires and having them do the install on my bike, because they did good work, they did it in a timely manner, and they provided all options of a means of contacting them. And I'll explain what that means for me. So obviously we live in a digital age. Here I am filming on my motorcycle, and I reached out to the shop per email. I did not call the shop. I didn't talk to anybody in person. I reached out to them for an email. I asked them if they do the 10,000 mile service, what they do for that, and they totally explained that they follow factory specs. They told me what kind of oil that they typically use, and I told them that I was using the Harley Synth 3, and so they said they could absolutely accommodate me and use that product. They were gonna they had to adjust the price a little bit, but they would use that product for me. I haven't changed oils yet, or changed away from the Synth 3 oil yet, so I'm comfortable with that oil as far as I'm concerned for now. And so I used the Synth 3 oil. They quoted me a price that they were going to charge me for my 10,000 mile service, which was more than fair. In fact, it was less than what the dealer was going to charge me. And made an appointment, and they told me when it was going to be done, and brought my bike in the night before, dropped it off, talked to them for a few minutes, and they called me right away the next day when it was done. I went back after work, picked it up, paid for my bike, no harm, no foul. It was great service. The turnaround time was spectacular, and that was the other thing that I think is important for me to note, at least, is that part of the reason why I wanted a shop to do the 10,000 mile service as opposed to me doing it is, number one, I don't have my service manual yet, so you can tell me what an idiot I am in the comments below, because I understand I need to get my service manual. So I have a service manual on order, but I didn't have a service manual to know, all of the things that I needed to do for the 10,000 mile service, and I wanted to make sure it was done to factory specs. And number two was timing. I wanted to make sure that I got my 10,000 mile check done. Like I said, I was close to 11,000, but I didn't want to do it if I was going to be able to put another couple thousand miles on my bike before the season, before the snow flies, before the seasons change, before I can't ride anymore. The weather this time of year in my area of the country is super unpredictable. So I'll just give you an example. Today it was about 72 degrees. 3 days ago it was a high was 42, right? So that's a very significant weather change in just a few days. And today, obviously, I'm riding in vest and a flannel, and if I would have ridden 3 days ago, I would have been essentially completely, with my chaps on, my leather jacket, gloves, the whole nine. I would have been completely wrapped up. And so with the weather being unpredictable for me this time of year, I didn't want my bike to have a whole bunch of downtime where I needed to where I was essentially getting myself aligned with what I needed to do the 10,000 mile service, which is getting the manual, getting anything I need, any specialty tools I might not have, all of those things that would kind of interrupt my process. I didn't want to have that happen. I didn't want to be interrupted. And so I wanted to get as much riding out of this season as I possibly could. And so the only way to do that was to bring it to a shop. And then, like I said, the number one reason was I wanted to support a local shop. Part of us continuing to have our industry flourish is to continue to support all those areas that are tertiary to the actual dealership, right? So if you want to continue to have your hobby, or whatever you want to call it, that you really love to do, if you want to continue to have it grow and do things and be a part of the, if you want motorcycling to exist moving forward, you're going to need to support some things around it. And that doesn't mean just buying your bike from a dealership. You're going to have to get out and support a shop, support, buy a part from a local manufacturer, or not get everything off of Amazon and go the cheapest route you possibly can. You're going to need to get out and support a local establishment. So like I was saying, you're going to need to get out and support a local establishment. You're going to need to support some things around the motorcycling industry. And for me this year, that worked out really well. I supported a local painter and had my fairing painted and my handguards. I brought my bike to this local shop twice to get the bars wired, and now for my 10,000 mile service. And I'll go back, right? I will go back to both of these people if I need stuff done in the future, because I'm happy with the work that they did for me. And so thinking about that from a long-term, long-term process, I'm happy with both the paint work that I got done and the work that I had done at a local shop. And so that was me kind of giving back, or paying my dues to the industry this season. And some of you are gonna feel a certain way about that, and that's fine. Please let me know how you feel about it, because I want to know. I want to know if you're supporting your local shop, if you're supporting a local paint shop, if you're giving back to the industry besides just giving back to the dealership or giving to a dealership that you bought your bike from. I know some people out there, and some people that I'm friends with, some motovloggers that I know, they have really great dealers in the areas that they live in, and so they're able to kind of, their give back is still to their local, their local dealers, which is great. But I think it's important to note that I wanted to give back to, a local shop too, besides just a local dealer. So, I think both of those things are still, are still viable options for everybody. And some people, I heard that there might be some dealers around the country that are closing. And if that's the case, establishing a relationship with a local shop, is a great thing to do. I mean, just like a place that you'd bring your car to have worked on, you need to build a relationship with them, and you're likely to have much better luck if you do that. I was fortunate. I know the owner of the local shop. We are acquaintances and have actually known each other through mutual friends for a long time, 15 years. And so at least I knew I could walk in and I knew somebody by first name, which is a start, right? Just like going into a dealership and not knowing anybody, going into a shop is no different. You need to establish some rapport, a relationship with them, and that it really does make a difference. It really does make the process seem more comfortable, and it seems, you know that they're going to take care of you and take care of your bike. But establishing that relationship is such an important part of it, and then, then they know that you're going to support them too. And I think long term, having that kind of mutual respect and mutual support is going to yield better results long term. That's just how I feel about it. I think that, it's kind of one thing that we kind of like to do in my family is we like supporting local restaurants. We like supporting local businesses when we possibly can. Are there times when supporting a local business might cost you a little bit more? There might be, but in my opinion, supporting a local business is like, it's like giving money to your neighbor. Who doesn't want to do that? Who would, I'd rather give money to my neighbor than give money to Walmart. So, I think it's just kind of a win-win scenario when you find yourself in that situation where you can support a local business and get what you need from the industry for your motorcycle or whatever. I think you win every time. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I kind of feel like I sound like I'm preaching today, but I'm not trying to. I'm just kind of telling you why I did what I did, because I'm capable of doing what they did to my bike. It just, for me, there was just some circumstances that said, you know what, just take it to a shop, have somebody do it, pay somebody to do the work, get your bike. I mean, they had my bike for less than 12 hours, and they did the work that I needed done, and I could not, I couldn't ask for anything any better than that. So that kind of is that scenario for me. So that's about all I have for you guys today. If you like what I'm doing, you can give me a thumbs up. You can like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'll put a link to it here, maybe, someplace around there. You can hit the bell icon if you want to be reminded when I'm going to put out more content. I usually upload once a week. I've been sticking to that schedule now this whole season, and I'm going to continue to stick to that schedule as long as I can. The off season is going to be a bit more challenging for me, but I got some things coming up, I think, that are going to enable me to have lots of content through the winter months. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've got some gear reviews coming up. I'll be doing, of course, my winter mod series, which I always do, because I have some plans for some modifications for my bike this year, and so I have that coming up. So again, I'll have some mods coming up. I'll have some gear reviews, lots of gear reviews coming up, because I used a ton of things this year and last year, so I can give you some good long-term reviews on some of those things. Some new gear to me this season. I have my custom vest coming in the mail, which I'm super excited about, from First Manufacturing. So if you don't know about that, check out my video for First Manufacturing for a custom vest. I'm super pumped about that. And that's about all that I have for you guys today. So I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you kind of tuning in on this gorgeous fall evening for me. I mean, I'm loving this weather. It's beautiful tonight. And that's it. This is Kid Moto. I'm out.